Hello, friends, and welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey. Apologies for starting a little bit later on YouTube. That's our fault here. It is Mike McCarthy's introductory press conference day, and we've got a bunch of coaching news and rumors that we want to get into and break it all down as we await McCarthy's opening press conference. We'll begin on the special teams side of things. Keith O'Quinn is out. John Fassel is in. That's a big deal. This is a big upgrade for the Dallas Cowboys, hiring the former Rams and longtime NFL special teams coordinator. Been around for quite a while in this role. Yes, by the way, this is Jim Fassel's kid. And it's a massive upgrade over Keith O'Quinn. You're going from a coach who oversaw one of the worst, if not the outright worst, special teams units in the NFL in Keith O'Quinn, to a coach who historically has put together some of the better special teams units. Now, Jerry Jones likes to say it's 100% coaching. It's not always, but this is a major upgrade for the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm fired up about it. So what's your excitement level for the new special teams coach for the Dallas Cowboys? Rate this for me on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, you don't even think coaches matter. 10, you're super duper excited, and you think all the special teams problems have now been fixed. If you want to put in 10, that's fine. That's really not fair. I don't expect John Fassel to come in and magically fix everything, but this is a huge upgrade. You can look at what Fassel's done throughout his time in the NFL. Now, these special team ranks are from Football Outsiders, just compares to average, what most teams would do. 23rd, 17th, when he had some injuries for the Rams, by the way. And then look at this, 2nd and 3rd and 7th and 7th and 4th and 26th. I don't know if you're going to get a top 10 unit right away in year one. You frankly might not. But even dating back to his time with Oakland, and soon to be the Las Vegas Raiders, I guess. 20th, 13th, 17th, 2nd. Guess what? That's an upgrade over what we saw last year. The Cowboys were horrible. So even your worst case scenario with Fassel is going to be better than what you had. Now you still got to get better players in there. Give me a new punter. But that is a big, big deal for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a really smart pickup, and I'm very pleased with the start here for Mike McCarthy with the overall coaching search. Now, we're not going to talk just about coaches on this show. We're going to have draft targets, team needs, free agency targets. All of that is coming up over the next couple of weeks and months on the Cowboys Report. So if you want to watch those, hit that big red button and subscribe. It's youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report if you're watching on Facebook, but on YouTube, hit that big red button. If you're watching on demand, you might get an ad break here. If so, go subscribe, and then by the time you come back up, we're going to be on to our next rumor. It is rumor time. A lot of question marks around the current regime. Kellen Moore, is he staying as offensive coordinator? This is 3 stars, bordering on 4 right now. Nothing is official, at least not at this time. But all signs are pointing, and the Cowboys expect Kellen Moore to stay on as the offensive coordinator for this team. Now, that does not mean he's going to call the plays. I still think that's going to be Mike McCarthy, given what McCarthy has said in the past, and really, it's Mike McCarthy. You kind of want him to end up calling your plays. The Washington Huskies, the college team out in the Pac-12, had wanted Kellen Moore to call the plays. Appears he's leaning towards staying on with the Dallas Cowboys. And for those of you that are like, no, we don't want Kellen Moore. We want Tony Romo. First off, stop it. Get some help. Second off, the Cowboys offense, any way you look at it, was better than the Linehan offense. Here's my ideal scenario for the Dallas Cowboys. Kellen Moore is not your play caller. He was still a little bit raw. That's okay. I thought his play designs were better. And Mike McCarthy himself has said, hey, I like the play designs out of Kellen Moore. I think that's a big deal. So what if Kellen Moore helps design new plays and design better plays and help build out the game plan, and then McCarthy, far more experienced, calls the plays in-game while Kellen Moore continues to learn? I think that's a really good idea for the Dallas Cowboys. I hope this comes true, and the early results, as we'll break down, pretty good staff coming together here for the Cowboys, at least so far. Also got a deal for you guys from our friends over at Fanatics. Many of you said you were not going to buy any more Cowboys gear while Jason Garrett was the head coach. Well, he is out now. Why don't you get yourself some awesome Cowboys hats instead? chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. Check the description. Check the comments of this video. We've got the link in there for you guys. Up to 40% off on sale. It's a good time of the year. I know it's colder right now for a lot of people, especially if you live up north. But hey, it's the right time to buy a hat then. You'll save more money. chatsports.com/Cowboys hats. All right, back to defense here. We'll kind of go back and forth on both sides of the ball. Is Jim Tomsula going to be the new defensive line coach? Not quite official, but this is 4 stars. This is the route the Cowboys are going to go. And I'm also very excited about this one for the Dallas Cowboys. Tomsula, much like Kellen Moore, and officially, just like John Fassel, expected to join the Cowboys as a member of the Mike McCarthy coaching staff. Now, he was a horrible head coach, but the good news is he's not going to be your head coach in Dallas. He's not even going to be your defensive coordinator. No, he's going to be your defensive line coach. And Tomsula, I will make note, because I'm curious if we get more information on this in the very near future, has mostly coached 3-4 defenses. So I think at minimum, you're going to see a little bit more two-gap. That's less of the upfield penetration that Rod Marinelli taught and more of the clog the lane style that, say, a Bill Parcells and Wade Phillips used to use way back when. Now, Tomsula, for the most part in his NFL career, has been a defensive line coach. He was the Redskins D-line coach, and guess what? They've got a really good D-line. The Niners D-line was great under Tomsula. Ask Justin Smith, the former early-round pick. Wasn't that great for the Bengals, was great in San Francisco. What he thinks of Jim Tomsula. Before that, part of his very strange path to the NFL Europe head coach. I know, a very awkward path there for Tomsula, but he joins the Cowboys in what so far we would appear to have 5, set coaching staff, or members of the coaching staff. Mike McCarthy's your head coach, probably your play caller too. Kellen Moore's your OC. Mike Nolan is your defensive coordinator. John Fassel's your special teams coach. And Jim Tomsula comes in as a member of your defensive line and will lead your defensive line staff. So grade the coaching staff hires so far. A, B, C, D, or F. I am very impressed at this point. Now, producer Brett accuses me of drinking the Kool-Aid already, but you're getting some fantastic coaches already. The moves you have made, I'm impressed by. Maybe Mike Nolan isn't the sexiest defensive coordinator of all time. We got the Kool-Aid here, okay? Face it out so you can actually see it. The Kool-Aid, all right? We're going to drink a little bit of it. I like what they've done so far. I see only a handful of anything below B pluses. I think that's accurate. Of course, it's only so far, so keep your votes coming while we go through what could also happen here with this staff. There are still some spots left unfilled. John Kitna, I've heard nothing on Kitna. All has been silent. I think that's actually a good sign for those of you that, like me, that want John Kitna back. Gary Brown, the Arby's coach, we'll talk about him in a second. Also Sanjay Lal and Marc Colombo. I wonder if Doug Nussmeier is out. 2 names to watch out for on that job. Jason Witten and also Ben McAdoo. Defensively, I think you're going to see a potentially total overhaul with this staff, and I am very much on board with that. I know the raw numbers were fine, but when you watch the games, they regressed from last year, and it just didn't turn out very well. I think that was a big, big issue. And as for Rod Marinelli, I think he's out. I mean, what's his spot? And I don't want to hate on Rod Marinelli. He's been a great defensive line coach for a long time in the NFL. He's also 71 years old. Probably time for some change here. There is a new defensive coordinator, Mike Nolan. There's a new D-line coach, Jim Tomsula. There's not a spot for him. So as much as I've loved Rod in the past, it's probably time to go ahead and make some changes here and make adjustments and move on from Rod Marinelli. The question, of course, then becomes, well, if Marinelli's gone, what about Kris Richard? Is he going to stay with the Dallas Cowboys? I'll give this one 2 stars. There have been some very conflicting reports on what exactly the role is for Richard. There was one from the Dallas Morning News that said multiple sources say there's going to be meetings set up for Kris Richard and they want to bring him back. Then 20 to 30 minutes after that report from Calvin Watkins, Jane Slater says, nope, no meeting set up. Then 5 minutes later, Mike Fisher says, with all due respect to Kris Richard, they might be moving on. So allow me to fill in the blank here. Nobody knows. That's the reality here. And make no mistake, we've kind of mentioned it before on the show, hinted at it. There were some issues between Kris Richard, some of the coaches, namely Ben Bloom, and some of the players as well. We like Richard's fiery attitude on the sidelines, but that works when you're winning. When you're losing games, that tends to become irritating and grating. Now, if Richard does stay, it's not going to be as the DC. Maybe you bring him in and you keep him, or I should say keep him as a defensive backs coach, where I thought Jordan Lewis played better. I think you have to give Richard some credit for Byron Jones emerging. Meanwhile, Awuzie regressed this past year. That's kind of a big red flag as well. I am curious to see what the Cowboys end up doing with Kris Richard. I don't mind bringing him back. I'm glad he's not going to be the defensive coordinator. I also don't know if Richard, whose contract is up, is really all that interested in coming in and taking a demotion within the Dallas Cowboys. All right, moving back now to offense. Sanjay Lal. It's tough to evaluate position coaches in terms of how good they are. But one reason why maybe you don't want to go with it, A, there were reports he had issues with Amari Cooper. So for me, I'm going to take Cooper over the receivers coach that I can replace fairly easily. That's my mindset. Meanwhile, those receivers dropped a lot of passes. More than when Lal was not here. So isn't that kind of a big red flag? Now, we'll see about Randall Cobb. I know McCarthy's back. That would seem to indicate that, hey, maybe they bring back Cobb because of the familiarity there. We'll see about Tavon Austin. There is some familiarity there too, because new special teams coach John Fassel was in LA with Tavon. That's interesting. I want to bring back Cooper, so we'll see what happens on that one. I am very curious to see what route the Cowboys end up going there for the Dallas or for the receiving core overall when it comes to what moves they could make with their coaching staff. There are quite a few of them out there. I am very curious to see which route the Cowboys end up going. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. If you put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. All right, the last coaching rumor here is on one of your guys' favorite, based on the comments I've seen. Gary Brown. Is he out? This is 2, bordering on 3, and I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but that might be the way things are trending for the Cowboys at the running back coach, position. That counts? I guess it is position, yeah. 2 stars here for Gary Brown. The report from Jane Slater is that Mike McCarthy has offered the running backs coach job to somebody else, and that coach has not yet accepted. Now, the names have not been dropped, but I think I've got some theories here on who that could end up being. Now, Brown could say if that other coach says no, and I'll also make note that Brown has been with the Cowboys since 2013. And we have some ideas here on this front for the Cowboys. We'll get to those in just a second as well. I am down to keep Gary Brown. And I've seen some of you out there say, I don't want Mike McCarthy if you don't keep Gary Brown. I'll let you guys in on a secret. You should not be making your head coach decision based on the running backs coach. So 2 names to keep in mind here. Skip Pete is out of a job. His contract is up with the LA Rams. You might know him, by the way. He's a former Cowboys running backs coach from all the way back in 2007 through 2012. Before that was with the Raiders, and after the Cowboys went to the Chicago Bears. So who do you guys want as the running backs coach? Type B for Brown, P for Pete, or O for other. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you're going other, I see someone mentioning Edgar Bennett under contract. Don't think you're able to pull that off. I will throw out a name that maybe some of you have heard of. Watch out for Stan Drayton, by the way. He is the current Texas Longhorns coach, who was the running back coach for Zeke Elliott at Ohio State. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.